Well, hello there, everybody. It is the end of January, and we're moving into February, and we're continuing on with our readings here at this little YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well out there. Hope everybody's in a place where they're working towards peace, happiness, and prosperity. As always, today we're going to be looking in at the sign of Leo to see what's going to be going on for the upcoming weeks, the month of February, and into the not too distant future. We're going to see what kind of energies we're going to be aligning with, which kind of energies we're going to be passing through, and what kind of energies are coming forward from the cards to suggest how we can cope, how we can adjust, how we can take our power back, whatever it might be for you, Leo. That's what we're going to be looking at. So yes, Tarot, we want to know what Leo needs to know for the month of February 2019. That is Leo. Oh, that is Leo. Leo seems definitive and ready and popping, so to speak. Let's cut the jibber jabber, though, and get right into the reading here. We've cut the deck. The energy at the bottom of the deck is the Six of Wands. One of the other signs had this. I can't even remember which one it was. But the Six of Wands is an awesome energy to be aligned with at this time or at any time, because it is the card of victory. It is the card of accomplishment. It is the card of fulfillment when it comes to matters of the working world and of spiritual achievement. Even the Six of Wands can mention that. So the feeling is that this is a kind of a quiet, confident time for you, Leo. If you feel the environment around you has been a little bit shaky, you are on the right path. You are doing the right things to come through it triumphantly. The Six of Wands, some of you might be dealing with a little bit of solitude at present time, which could be both beneficial, but it could be just kind of nagging at the strings of being like, well, I wish there was a little bit more going on in the ways of connections and things like that. For those of you that are single out there, but take pride in the path that you're on. I guess pride and Leo go hand in hand when we think of the old adage of the symbology behind it. The symbology of the Six of Wands is keep moving forward. There's no need to look back at this time. There's no need to retrace footsteps or anything. If you have any kind of nagging doubts, do your best to let them go, because it seems as though Source with the Six of Wands is saying be aligned with the victory that you have achieved, or that you are in the process of achieving. And in terms of being aligned with it, it is moving forward with pride and confidence. So that's good. We're not throwing anyone under the bus while we're doing it, but at the same time, if people are falling by the wayside by their own doing, we're just kind of going to let that be, let that happen, like the silent witnessing of your own victory, while doing your best to stay in your power if there's anything there that's trying to bring you back, okay? Bring you back down. Page of Wands reversal in the nitty-gritty. So some of you could be waiting on information at this time for assurance or reassurance, and that's all right to see as well. We've got Wands up here, which means you're kind of in your element, I feel, when it comes to like the daily living, like getting your work done, letting people, like communicating effectively. But it's almost like there's it's not like information withheld, but there's information that has not come forward yet because it's not complete or it's not assured. So if you find yourself in a position where you just like you can't act until you are further knowledge, just this is a card of like saying like just be patient. Things that are beyond your control right now need to sort themselves out before you can be made aware of them, or at least move with the certainty that you need to, because it's what I'm seeing is that you're wanting to move ahead, but what could be holding you back is a lack of information or a lack of knowledge pertaining to a situation or relationship. These are general readings, remember, so take it how it applies to that area. And we got more Wands up here, the Ten of Wands reversal. All right, so whatever this is, you may be feeling weighed down by it at present time. You may be feeling as though if we could just shake this monkey off our back, if I just had the knowledge of what this other person wanted, was doing, or expected, then we could be in a position where we could like lighten our load a little bit and move forward. It's almost like a bit of a stuck energy in an uncertainty, right? And some of you might be carrying the weight of putting all of the effort into a relationship at present time, and it's like there needs to be some sort of expression or release or a relaxing time. The feeling is it's quiet, but yet it's kind of like constantly progressing in like a go type thing, and it's tough for you because it's like you're wanting to align with moving with surety and assurance, and you might even be being expected to move with surety and assurance, but it's almost like it's impossible or it's very difficult because in your mind, in the way you're thinking, it's like, well, somebody could tell me that I've done a good job, or someone could tell me that they love me, but until I feel that reassurance or that sort of clip or that information that needs to come forward, it's like it's kind of could be like feeling like it's weighing down on you. Okay. So 10 of Wands here, what we would like to see is that you can kind of like ride this wave out. Don't be worried about swimming out to the next wave because you feel as if somebody or something is asking you to do it. Ride the current wave out before you move on to the next thing. It's kind of like making sure all the things are buttoned up before we get ourselves spread too thin, which I don't think you are spread too thin. Some of you might be feeling that in being weighed down, but it's like there is a risk of that if you move ahead of the energy, if you move ahead of the group, so to speak, like leader of the pack, Leo. It's like sometimes you have to wait for the little lionesses and the little cubs to like make their way up so that the pack can move forward. You can attain like or keep the reputation, the respect, and the surety of the group that you are in doing the right place. Your leadership is not compromised or it's not wavering at this time, as long as you're being patient with the people around you. Okay? Wow. And it seems as though for those of you that this pertains to a relationship to, the answer is there. It has posed itself, but you are blind to something at this time. Someone has been playing or ghosting, that term ghosting, where they just don't text you back and that sort of thing. If that's the case for you, Leo, don't wait on this person. Don't expect anything from them. Leave them in the dust for the time being. It doesn't mean you can't return to it, but if it's knowledge or if it's somebody's intentions that's remaining hidden from you at this time, don't seek it out. Don't expect it. You don't even have to look for it. The answer is right in front of you, because a lot of time the answer is you. You're picking up the sort of the gap or the slack, because there are other things that are more valuable or worthy of your time at this point in time. Like I said, you're not moving on to the next thing, but you're in recognition of, I'm okay with being where I'm at and with myself at this time until these things are made known. You may be focused too heavily on on this particular piece of information or on this particular person, where there's feeling attached to the uncertainty, where we want to let go of any kind of sorrow we might be having at this time about something that we have no control over. The Four of Cups is almost saying like the new beginnings are there, they're waiting for you, but it's like it's not being presented to you until you are at a point where you can adjust, you can move forward and to embrace even something new that could be totally like unrelated to the situation or your question. You could get involved or related into that. You don't want to get in too deep, but at the same time, there's something that needs to occur to get your mind off of it. So it's almost as if, and for somebody, this is a recognition thing. This is like a lot of hard work has gone into something and they're not being recognized for it. And you're wondering if the person is doing it intentionally or if it's just going unseen. And I think the latter of the two is going to be the case for most of you, where it's like, it's going unseen. It's like you've been putting in the long miles, doing the dirty work, that kind of thing. And it's like the other person in the situation has been so busy trying to plan forward or do what they need to do for themselves that it's not like directly taking you for granted, but in a roundabout way it is, because they haven't addressed the old proverbial elephant in the room, so to speak. And that's a big one to you as well. It's like there could be a battle of minds going on here, where it's like two people are just waiting for the other person to acknowledge something so that a conversation can occur in regards to it and sort of lighten the mood, lighten the situation, and lighten the feeling, because there are some heavy feeling things going on here. But the cards are saying that it's beyond your control, but you're not doing anything wrong to affect it negatively or to affect the outcome. Wow, another reversal on a 10 here. So Leo, it's kind of got that essence of like, have you been beating a dead horse? Have you put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak, and now you're just waiting for that acknowledgement? Have you given other people too much power over the way you're feeling or your certain thought process at this time? Is it time to let go of certain things that have not come to fruition, rather than being in a position where you're waiting for it, you're giving somebody the benefit of the doubt? This person needs to see you acting more in this Six of Wands, where it's like, come yea or nay, come hell or high water, come rain, sleet, or snow, I'm going to go on and I'm going to move forward. I'm going to do my thing. And you know what? Like I said, it's not like it's something I feel that you can't return to. You could at any time, but why would you if you keep returning to it and nothing has changed or nothing has progressed? When you're like, I'm way beyond that, Charlie. I'm way beyond that, Judy. We've been through this 1,000 times. Why have we not? Why are we seeing 10 reversals instead of aces when it seems like it could be long overdue? And it's just because someone hasn't been clear. Someone hasn't, even through their actions or intentions, someone has not been clear. If you're looking at this from a work perspective or something like that, I think you're well aware of what needs to happen and the information that needs to flow. But there's like this worry that's associated with it. Is like, is it going to reflect badly on me? Trust it. Trust that it won't, because your prominence and your positioning in this is all correct. It's just as though you're like being made to wait out for the divine timing of it all. And it could have, and again, it's leading to that uncertainty or that bogged down feeling of, if only we could put the red seal on it, or stamp it, date it, it's done. And that's what you're looking for. So we're going to see if that's going to come for you. Wow. These are some tough cards, Leo. These are like pip cards that are letting me know that you really need to pick up your spirits. You really need to find release. You really need to find a resource that you can go to take you out of the patterns that you've been in. The Four of Pentacles can sometimes indicate patterns that are deeply rooted for longer periods of time. These could be regiments, these could be routines. These are things that, although they serve you in terms of stability, it leaves you with a little bit of lack in terms of, that uplifted feeling, that inspired feeling. These fours and these reversals on the tens it's almost like you're going through the motions. Yeah, okay, or yes, I understand. And that's not like you, Leo. That really isn't like you. So February wants to let you know that wherever you've been focusing your energy, your attention, and your intention, it's time to let that go. It's time to let it fall by the wayside for the intermittent time being. Not forever, mind you, for the time being. You're almost better with having the choice of, do I return to it or do I not return to it, rather than standing there and facing it and being like, well, if this happens, we could go this way, that way, this way. But if this happens, then we'd have to readjust and do all of these other things. It's almost like, take the middle path. Take that road where it's like you're going forward. You maybe plan for both, but you can't act on those. Do something where you can do both the planning and the acting, and whether it's related or not related to your current situation or the thing that's troubling you or bringing you down, it's like that uplifting or that inspired feeling. I would encourage many of you to crack open a canvas or get the dust off the guitar or something, and just find like the moments of this day, of any day that you might be feeling in this way, and replace them with creativity. Because these cards, what I see here is there may be a lack in terms of creative motions. But typically you're good at filling your time with those kinds of things. Some of it might like be a bit of escapism though, where it's like you're just like coloring by number, or you're doing the same old thing, right? You're just like trying to get your mind off it through an activity that, used to make you feel good, and maybe it's not making you, or it's not releasing all that pressure or any kind of anxiety that you're feeling about the larger question. So there's an adjustment that needs to be made there in what you do creatively to bring about inspiration in your life, And the primary purpose that I see it fulfilling is it is taking your mind off of a larger problem, but it's doing it in a positive way that is not an escapism type thing. So if you're just playing like World of Warcraft endlessly, or if you're just like doing the same old thing and meeting up with the same old people and feeling the same old way at 11 o'clock at night or at 8 o'clock in the morning, those are clear signs that, hey, we need to change the daily routine up. We need to switch it up, as it were. I'm going to switch it up, right? And that's where it is. Okay. Now, the calling from Spirit here, as I feel, is that some of you could return to things that are in a much deeper past. You could be reconnecting with very old friends, people you haven't seen in a very long time. And if this is related to the information that you're not hearing from, there is no risk in you being the one to break the ice or to break the wall down that may be standing between you and another, or between you and a certain place that you would like to get to. It is like that uplifting of spirit. And with the Six of Cups, it's almost saying it's like you, and I get this feeling of going back to something, but you might be going much further back beyond where you're focused on where the trouble may have started, or the person who the trouble might have started with, where you're going back and you're reconnecting. Reach out to grown children, siblings, even parents. For some of you, this might be a situation where someone is completely worried about an aging parent or an older parent, where it's like there might have been some tough times in the past, but the present day is facing you with a dilemma where it's like somebody's going to have to let go of their pride, or have to let go of whatever worry there might be in a situation where there was maybe no apology or no closure on a situation, to get back to feeling good again. Okay, these are tough, low pip cards. This is the energy of the grind coming back for you. And in day-to-day living, that's fine. You can make strides, you can make progress. But I want to make sure that you're in recognition of your own progress, and that you're acting creatively enough so that you are unwavering in the way that you're feeling, or in cyclical thinking, like those catch-22s of the mind, where you get yourself in and it keeps running across the same old tracks. And that's, for some of you, it's just like a simple change of environment, or a vacation is long overdue, and not a working vacation either. The one where you actually like kick the sandals off way high up and then you go for a dunk out in the ocean. Okay, that kind of thing. Nine of Pentacles up here. Yes, and for that person, or those people that have been following along, where this is pertaining or falling heavily in a relationship situation, what the recognition is here is that you cannot wait forever on this communication. You have to find the inner strength that you had, and I'm going all the way back to like from your childhood, like growing up. Somebody might be feeling a longing to return to a simpler time, to a better time. And it's filled with like daydreaminess and, going through old scrapbooks and like going through old like text messages and things like that. This card is saying you really want to be refreshed. You really need the garden to bloom again. So February is not going to be the most pleasant terms in terms of being patient with this, because we're still waiting for the Easter, for the dead time to be over. That's what they used to call it thousands of years ago. Right now, what is just the dead time, right? While we're waiting for equinox to come. This Nine of Pentacles is saying it's a good time to get practice on the inner work that you need to do, and become focused on creatively figuring out new places or new areas where you can withdraw fulfillment from. Okay, and for somebody out there, I do have a feeling that they are worried about an older child. They could have been an only child, or they could have been somebody like a stepsister, or somebody that might have even been disowned from a certain family, who hasn't been heard from in a long time. And it's like, it might be like nagging or pulling at the heartstrings, because you think back to a connection that you've had with them, and you're like, wow, I wonder if they're okay. I wonder if they even want to talk to me. Take that chance, Leo. Take that chance. Go out on that limb and reach out to them. What's the worst that could happen? You get the back of your hand slapped? No, not even that. The worst they could do is make the bad decision that they don't want to be a part of it, or that they are still dealing with their own crap or their own funk. And you know what? You just have to find a place where it's like, at least I tried. I'm going to allow it. But you know what? At least I took that initial effort to get that in there, right? Okay. So, again, more waiting. What are you guys waiting? You waiting for Christmas? Christmas just came and went. You're waiting for spring here, I think, and you're waiting for something to get better in regards to people that you are fond of. And this, for some of you, it's children. For some of you, you might have a lover who has, might be out of sorts, or even like physically dealing with an ailment where you are like holding vigil or nurturing through a situation, but it almost feels as like don't give up on your faith either, Leo. Don't give up on things like belief and faith at this time that another person is going to be okay. You just pour your love and your energy into that situation. If you're in a position where you can't be certain or you're unknown, allow that to be. If the person is blatantly not seeing you for your value and your worth, it's time to get your head into a different space and move forward, as U2 says, with or without you kind of thing. All right, Leo, these are some tough cards coming up here. There's no major overarching energy. It's like, even if we had at least one card from the major arcana, we could go back to it and say, yes, here, this, we can define this, we can define that. But with all these lower pips, it's like you are going through cycles, and I want you to seek out any kind of glitch in the matrix. For some of you, that's the term that resonates. For others of you, it's seeking out avenues to like dip, like get, like just escape out into something. And I told you before, not escape, but productively shift your energy and your attention over so that you are breaking the cycle. Okay. All right, Leo. I'm curious to see what comes up for you into the springtime, because it looks like a lot of good things are on the horizon, but they haven't arrived at your doorstep yet. So with that, I'm going to bid you farewell, adieu, goodbye. Until next time, I love you all, and we'll see you then.